Start the countdown. 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. We are Sean and Kristy. This is Long, Long Honeymoon. And we are beginning yet another of our infamous rambling live streams. Jim Pratt has joined us from the Great White North.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Yeah. We've had a few technical issues. It always happens anytime we live stream. It's always that sort of last minute scramble. Make sure that everything's working. We had to do some rebooting. It's all good. There's Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. LOLOHO.
LOLOHO. She's out on a big adventure right now.
I'm jealous of your campground you're staying in right now. It looks beautiful.
Hey, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
OOLOL. Yeah. It's all good.
Hi, Maureen.
Yeah, we hope everyone's doing well. As always with these live streams, you guys are kind of setting the agenda in terms of we want to really interact with you and field your comments and questions and insults and
well, hopefully not too many insults, but you know.
That's what Jim's here for.
It is the internet.
Jim is the troll basher. Hey, Robin from Houston says it's 94 degrees and the heat index is 106. It's kind of the same here in the LOLOHO National Forest.
Yeah, it's pretty steamy outside these days.
We're really eager to hit the road and head west in search of cooler, drier air.
Yes. And real quick, we want to recognize a couple of our YouTube members that are joining us tonight. Again, we mentioned Aaron, who is SEC Barbie. And Sally Birch. They're both members. We appreciate that so much, you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks for that support. And if you want to be a member on our YouTube channel, you can just click that little member button.
Acme Racing says it was about 80 degrees in Maine today. I bet.
That's pretty toasty for Maine.
Yeah. Maine is a great place to be in the summer.
It's so beautiful, and the weather is usually perfect. So
we've been a couple of times, and I think the second time we were a little bit early in the season because if I recall, it was still quite chilly and rainy at night.
Well, we were there in early June and it was pretty chilly and rainy. So we had not packed accordingly. So we had to do a little shopping while we were there.
Hey, Greg in Lake Park, Georgia.
Hi, Greg.
There's Jeff in Wisconsin. Raymond in Boston.
Oh, Sally is in Southeast Alaska. Wow. How's the weather there, Sally? Is it sunny yet? Let's see. She says sunshine in the rainforest is counted in feet of rain. Ooh.
Yeah. If you've watched our Alaska videos, I mean, one of the things that I feel we learned while we were there is that there's a window of that perfect weather in Alaska.
Yeah.
It varies a little bit from year to year, but you need to really, it's good to talk to Alaska residents and ask them, what's your favorite time of year? When is the best time to visit?
Yeah,
because we've gotten some good insights from them. Hey, Paul in Hawaii.
It's the only state we have not visited is Hawaii. We almost went in April for my birthday, but there were still a lot of COVID restrictions in place. So we just wanted to hold off and wait till things were a little more normal before we went. So
Travel Duck Wonder is in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
If you've never been to Flagstaff, you can be surprised at how cold it can get there.
Yes.
Because it's at such a high elevation.
I think one of our coldest nights in our Airstream was spent in Flagstaff. It was 16 degrees. A little chilly in the old aluminum tent. Hi, Mike. We've got David in Florida, Kevin in Arizona, Danny in Arkansas.
SEC Barbie asks, can we talk about how you wash your ceramic coated Airstream? Microfibers, truck washes, or hand washes? With a hashtag Roll Tide.
I love you, Aaron, but I can't say those words, those dirty, dirty words.
I really think as far as washing the Airstream, once it's been coated with ceramic, it's so much easier. You can just use microfiber towel. And I think Vinny would probably recommend some Dawn dish detergent, right?
I think so. He's probably the expert on washing the ceramic coating. We typically use like a hand mitt for all the places we can reach with our hand. And then we do have kind of a soft bristle brush that we use for the roof and that sort of thing. And just rinse it off and then dry it with, microfiber towels. That's probably the biggest pain in the butt. You don't have to dry it with towels if you don't want to, but that does make it look prettier. So, but yeah, it's super easy because there's really no scrubbing anymore. You know, I showed in that video about our ceramic coating where we had tree sap on the side of our Airstream. And previously getting tree sap off of our Airstream was a labor intensive process because you had to be really careful about scraping it off using a bone tool to not scratch or dent your aluminum skin. And now I can literally just use a wet cloth and wipe it off. I wouldn't have believed it had I not done it myself, but it really was the case, and that tree sap was gone. So
yeah, I have to say, so
much easier.
I want to get our tow vehicle ceramic coated. All Seymour, of course, Seymour has other issues. By the way, I will make a mild announcement that we are kind of in the market for a new tow vehicle, believe it or not. I mean, I hate to retire Seymour, but
we're hoping that we're going to get one more season out of him. So we're hoping this year will be his final journey, like his farewell tour, mind you. So if you see Seymour, it's probably his farewell tour this year. And
it's kind of like the Rolling Stones. Yeah. They always say it's the farewell tour, and then 3 years later, they're back on tour. Yeah.
Yeah, if that could happen with Seymour, that'd be great. But it's just, it's starting to get to the point where we're so behind the times with the amenities that vehicles offer that, I mean, heated seats, for instance, we don't have those. We don't have,
no, when the engine overheats, you do get,
your seat does get a little warm. That's true. But so, Seymour,
when your air conditioner dies, you get plenty of heat.
This is true. So, it's just time. I'm not saying we're going to buy something soon, but we're starting the process. We're starting to learn more about what's out there, pros and cons. So that will be coming up in future videos.
So if anybody's in the automotive industry out there and wants to, campaign for your brand, we're sort of, we'll look at Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Tesla, you name it.
I mean, we are Ferrari. In line for a Tesla Cybertruck, but the truck that we need is the tri-engine model, and it won't be coming off the assembly line until the end of 2022. And even then, we aren't really sure what its towing capacity is really going to be. So I don't know if we can really count on that at this point.
Wait, Paul says he would like to do a meetup in Honolulu. That sounds wonderful.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. We want to start doing more meetups, and we did one a couple of years ago, and then last year, of course, everything got thrown out of whack because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so it seems like life is getting back to normal, and we can do meetups again. So we're going to try and do some this summer for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, we're sort of penciling in one if you're in the Tetons in September. Let's say mid-September.
I don't have a hard date yet, but it will be the middle of the month. And we're trying to figure out a good location to host that. I know last time we had it at Dornan's on their rooftop deck, and that would be a great location to have it again, but you can't reserve that. It's just first come, first serve. And the parks have been so slammed the last couple of years that I don't know if we could really count on that. So we might try to go somewhere where we can actually reserve a room or tables or whatever, just so we would be guaranteed to have a spot to hang out.
We'll say hi to Jin, South Carolina. Hi, Rochelle.
Oh,
thank you so much.
We appreciate
Very kind of you.
Oh, Paul is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Cool. We have been to Hershey a couple of times, actually.
We've been to that theme park.
One of the scariest rides I've ever been on was at the Hershey theme park. And it wasn't that it was necessarily a scary ride. It's the fact that all that was holding us on was this one little bolt about the size of my pinky.
It's like one of these ridiculous contraptions where you're being flown out at the end of this big giant arm. You're like 10 stories up in the air, and you can just hear the metal creaking. And Kristy was actively praying out loud.
Praying out loud. Lord, dear Lord, if we survive this, I promise you I will never get back on this ride. Please just let us
and we survived,
safely.
And she kept her promise.
Kept my word. I've never gotten back on that ride again. And I love a big roller coaster. I love a big scary ride, but that one was just a little too much for me.
There's Larry and Barbie. So we'll be there in September. Enjoyed the previous Dornan's meetup. That's awesome. So we'll
thanks so much.
We'll plan on that. We're actually getting together with some folks, we hope, later this week.
Yes.
Who are in town. They are having Ronnie, Airstream Nuts and Bolts. He's installing a big solar package on their Airstream.
Yes. Hi, Patty, if you're watching.
And we're going to hopefully get together with those guys for lunch or something.
Yeah, I think Wednesday or
later
Thursday,
this week.
Maybe.
So, we love getting together with you guys whenever we have the opportunity. So I know that Jim Pratt, for example, was in town. He gave us a shout out and
that's right.
Got together. Let's see. Kathy asked how baby girl is doing. Thank you. She is doing very well.
She's good. She's at my parents' house right now. We just got back in town. We've been out of town to a family wedding on Sean's side of the family. So my parents were babysitting baby girl.
Yeah. Baby girl is back to normal. Some of you know that she had a bit of a health scare a few weeks ago. And when she was having her teeth cleaned, some water got down into her lungs and she was having trouble oxygenating.
Yeah, she got aspiration pneumonia.
Right. So she had to go into a little baby girl size oxygen chamber.
Yeah, it was just pretty scary.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Thankful that she's okay.
And she's back to her old normal self.
Let's see. Lynchburg.
Baby girl is hilarious, guys. Like, there's so many things about her personality that we will show you someday. Like, if she feels disrespected by us, she will sneak into the bathroom and poop on our bath mat and leave it there for us. Yeah, but she does it. Then that's the only time she will do it. If she feels like she's not getting enough attention, she'll do it. So she knows how to act up.
That's her weapon.
Hey to Robert in North Carolina. I'm an old Tar Heel, went to law school at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and we always enjoy our time in North Carolina. I have a lot of family there.
Hi, Vito, Frank in Long Island.
What's up from Long Island? David May.
Hi, David.
It's also in the Great White North.
Oh, Paul, you gotta, Paul, War Damn Eagle.
Oh,
Yay.
That's offensive.
Let's see.
What about reserving park areas in Grand Teton to do a cookout jamboree?
Maybe so.
It's possible. We could do it in the campground. The campground actually has for example, amphitheater.
Yeah.
That it doesn't get used that often, but like they would use it for ranger talks and so forth.
Yeah. So I don't know if they would let us do an event there or not. We can find out. For sure.
Richard said, greetings from McAllen, Texas. It's not the heat, it's humidity. You got that right. It really is the humidity. It's rained for the past week here, and the air is thick as pea soup.
Yes. It's like stepping out into a sauna. Oh, thank you, Ivan Josie.
Yeah, thank you, guys. We're traveling cross-country. What recommendations you have when we arrived at Colorado Springs? Now, we went through there last year, did we not?
We did not go through Colorado Springs. We got close.
Yeah.
But we didn't go through Colorado Springs. So we don't really have a video in Colorado Springs. We've never camped in that specific area.
Well,
the reason why we didn't, oddly enough, is because we couldn't find a campground to stay in. So
it's a good reason.
You might have better luck than we do. If you know us, you know that we don't plan far in advance. We are definitely fly by the seat of our pants travelers. And last year that was proving to be more difficult simply because everybody and their brother bought an RV last year and decided to hit the road. So,
but we love Colorado and we spent some good time there last year. And I can say with some confidence, we'll end up there again this year.
I think
so. We'll put Colorado Springs on our list.
Yes.
And make it a goal to go there.
Yeah. We really enjoyed visiting the,
wow. I want to acknowledge some people.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Raymond. That's too kind, Raymond.
Yeah, hold on. We're trying to find your scroll up, maybe. Sorry, we're having to wade through these comments here.
We thank you for the super chat.
Super chat, people.
Yeah, and we want to try and acknowledge everyone, but it's a difficult thing sometimes on YouTube when there are a lot of people simultaneously logged in, and we are sorting through a flurry of comments.
Yeah, hundreds of comments. So. We'll do our best.
There's Craig Laney. Craig says how I was talking about you, Craig, because we were at that family event and I knew that you were in the business. So we may talk to my friend Craig.
Yeah.
To look at a GMC Duramax. Sounds good.
Maybe scroll down further. Oh wow. Just bought a new Ford F-250. Sweet.
With a 6.7 liter.
Oh, there's Patty. Hey, Patty. She's a member on our YouTube channal. Thank you very much. Yeah. We appreciate that.
And we're hoping we'll be able to get together later this week.
Yes, absolutely. For some reason, we're missing our super chat people. We can see you.
Well, maybe I think Raymond maybe didn't ask a question or anything. He just gave us an incredibly generous and kind
pop up
gift.
Over here.
Yeah, but see,
yeah,
Aaron, thank you, Aaron.
Oh, thank you,
being
Aaron.
Amazing and humble servants. Well, that's our goal, really. Our mission is to serve the Airstream and RV community, and we hope that we're able to be successful in that goal. So thank you so much. We've gotten together several times with Aaron.
Yeah.
And always had a good time.
There he is.
All right. Yeah.
Raymond Russell, thank you very much. That was very generous.
Incredibly kind and generous.
We appreciate that very much.
Appreciate it so much.
That will buy old Seymour a tank of diesel.
Yeah. Might keep old Seymour kicking for another.
Just for a little bit longer.
Hey, there's Scott and Jerry in my old hometown of Coleman. We met those guys.
Yes.
We were at a brew pub. There's a great little brew pub in my old hometown called Goat Island, and met Scott for the first time.
Yes.
He was like, "Are you that long honeymoon guy?" Yep.
And he was cooking some amazing barbecue.
That's right.
Thank you. And he gave us some of his barbecue rub.
If I recall correctly, he was raising money to support a veterans charity.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That was really cool.
So let's see. Dana says, I hear a lot about full Western campgrounds. Rocky Knob on Blue Ridge Parkway was half empty. Do you do trips to high altitude southeastern campgrounds?
Yeah, I think that's what she means. You know, the few times we've been through that area, it hasn't been in the summertime, so it's been in colder weather. And we really need to make that a priority to get back to that area in some warmer temperatures, because I do think they have much more mild summers than the lower lying areas of the South. So we should probably make that a priority either this year or next year to make sure that we get through there.
I think this has been asked before, but who is more ticklish? That's pretty funny. Kate asked.
I don't know. Sean hates to be tickled. He does a fake laugh if I try to tickle him, which totally takes the fun out of it.
Maybe that means I'm more ticklish.
Yeah, maybe so. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate that so much.
Super kind.
We always enjoy hanging out with Erin when she's in Birmingham.
The next round is on us when you come through town.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Somebody said, Ron says, how is everyone's water heater after the spring series of freezes?
Okay.
We just got the replacement in.
I'm knocking on wood.
I know. Our water heater is original equipment.
It's probably time to change it out. And I know we've talked about doing the tankless water heater, and we might do that just for how quickly you can get the hot water. And 90% of the time we are heating our hot water off of our propane heat, off of the propane option, not the electrical. So we might do that. The one thing I think I have to worry about when if we change over to that is I think we'd be much more tempted to take longer showers, because we're not running out of hot water, and then we fill our gray water tank too quickly. So that's my one concern.
That's true. I mean, limitless hot water certainly sounds wonderful.
Great when you have
but
a
if you're
sewer
boondocking,
connection.
yeah.
If you're boondocking and you can't, drain your gray water, it's kind of like, what's the point? But, at least I guess it would be instant on hot, and it would be hot for your full. We just have to set a timer.
Jan says they'll be in the Teton in September. So hopefully.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
We'll have a big meetup there. We'll plan on it. And, if we don't meet up in the park, we could meet up somewhere in Jackson.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There are a lot of great options there. There's several big brew pubs there. We'll make it happen.
Jamie says, do a meetup in Iowa, please. Des Moines or Coralville. We should get back up to Iowa.
Yeah. If you have some good Iowa camping tips for us, let us know, because I think this year when we head west, we might kind of scoot up north and then cut over through Illinois and Iowa, because we haven't done a lot of camping in those areas.
Yeah. We've been there, but
we've been there. So
we really should spend some more quality time there.
I want to go back to Sandusky, Ohio, and go to Cedar.
Oh, the theme park?
Yeah. With all the roller coasters. Cedar Point.
You're the one who says prayers to survive.
Well, that was the bad theme park ride. I don't think that really counts for Cedar Point. I would scroll down. I think those are going to be lower.
Yeah. I want to thank Nevada Fly Angler. I assume that's Nevada. NV Fly Angler for the generous super chat.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And also Mai Tai Ken
and Brenda. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. There he is. Or she.
Mai Tai Ken. That sounds like a
Nevada
fun name.
Fly Angler. We've never been fly fishing before. I'm assuming you're a fly fisher person.
I think fly fishing is kind of an art.
I think it would be a lot of fun to try. I mean, I go bass fishing with my dad. I'm sure it's a completely different cast and all that, but I think it would be really relaxing because, you're sort of in that tranquil setting with the rushing water and,
Right.
I just think it'd be a really neat setting.
There's and Thumbelina from New Zealand.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
We love travel and international travel, and New Zealand is a destination that's been on our radar for a long time.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand is one of the most RV friendly destinations in the world. It's a place where you can rent an RV at the airport and they have all the infrastructure throughout the country to support it. Because there are a lot of countries where you might be able to get your hands on an RV, but you're not going to have the infrastructure there.
Right.
Like, for example, we went to Argentina a few years ago and loved it. And we had an RV and
part of the trip,
but there weren't that many campgrounds, honestly.
You were really just parking on the side of the street,
which is kind of cool. But you could boondock, pretty much anywhere you want.
Right.
And asked the guys, like, so where do we empty our tanks? And he was like, just wherever. You pretty much.
Well, we had a cassette toilet, so you had to take that into like a gas station or something like that and empty it there. But your gray tank, you could kind of dump wherever. So. Scott G.
I want to thank Scott.
Thank
for the generous.
You so much.
It's very
that
kind
was
of
very
you.
Sweet, Scott. We appreciate that.
Scott also gave us some
barbecue
some of his
rub.
custom barbecue rub.
That's some good stuff.
We should do some sort of meetup at Goat Island.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
That'd be a lot of fun.
It's a great brewery. It's right there. Coleman's a great spot for people passing through because it's right off the interstate on I-65. So if you're ever going down 65, like on your way to the beach or somewhere in Florida, Coleman's a great stopover for a night or two, just because there's some great restaurants there, fun brewery, nice people.
William said, love your Alaska videos. Do you have plans for return visit?
We originally talked about maybe going this year, but I think there are so many people going this year that, well, I know we're not going this year.
I guess the issue to me is the border situation.
I think
is it
you
open
can
or
cross if you are going to Alaska, and you just have to go straight through. There's no stopping and hanging out. You maybe only have a certain number of days or something. I'm not sure. William, you might know better than I do, but I've heard that from a few people. So maybe next year.
Kurt Griffin asked a good question. Says, hope all is well with you guys. And I was wondering if you still use the Champion 3100 watt generator. Thanks and stay safe. First of all, we do still use the Champion 3100 watt. And as you may know, I'm a person who owns far too many generators. I'm ready to part with some generators. We
generators, do. Yeah.
But of all the ones we've tried, I've found that one just suits our needs the best, maybe just for our size of RV and the way we use the RV. And it seems like it can run an air conditioner if you need it to run the air conditioner in a pinch.
At least our air conditioner, which is a smaller unit. It's a 13,500 BTU unit, and we only have one. So it works for us. If you have a 15,000 BTU, I'm not sure how that will work. Now, if you have a soft start on it, it probably will work fine.
So we had a couple other questions. Somebody was asking about my hat and said, where did you get your hat?
Oh, there you go. Jeff Barber.
So, yeah.
Usually we have a link to his hat posted under every video that we do. I got this on
Amazon. Yeah. So I do have it. It should be linked beneath our YouTube videos and also in our Amazon little store that we have. Mm-hmm. And on that note, I want to make a small announcement.
Yeah.
When we first started doing the Long Honeymoon, we did it for years, and there was no way to make any money doing this.
Yeah.
I know this sounds bizarre.
6 or 7 years, it was just.
We
were just doing it for the heck of it.
I don't know. It was kind of a crazy thing, but it was sort of, I guess, in the blogging days.
We knew it would turn into something eventually. We just didn't know how long it would take.
We hoped it would, but there was no guarantee. And then, when we discovered that Amazon affiliate program, that ended up being a wonderful thing because I was reviewing products anyway, because it's just it gives you something fun to talk about. And so the Amazon, that store has done really well and has been very successful. It's on Amazon's radar. They've contacted us and they said, guys, your store is one of the best performing that they have on the whole platform. And they actually came to us a few weeks ago and they said, would you guys be interested in live streaming on Amazon, like on their website?
Amazon.com.
And, we thought about it and we thought, well, what the heck? So we will. So we said we're going to try it for a couple of months. We're going to try it
for a couple of months and see how it goes.
So we'll make some announcements about, when we're going to live stream.
Right.
But so it's going to be very much like this. I don't think there'll be nearly as many people over there. So we'll probably be able to interact with you much more frequently.
Yeah.
Because we won't have just a flood of comments.
We won't have 1,000 people there. We'll probably have like maybe 100.
Yeah.
So it'll be easier to get in a question with us. And of course, while we're there, we'll be talking about different products. We're going to try to have like a theme every week as far as products go, like RV essentials. And then we'll have one on like kitchen gadgets and organization and stuff like that. And just sort of talk about sort of those products. And you can purchase during the live stream or, just learn about what we're talking about and purchase later, either way. But one thing you can do to be notified of when we're going to be doing this stuff is if you go to our Amazon storefront, it's amazon.com/shop/long honeymoon, which is usually linked under every video we have. If you go to that page, there'll be a little follow button on the page. And if you click that, then you'll get notified when we go live on Amazon. And that way you can just click over and watch if you feel like it. And if it's a day where it's not good for you, we totally understand. But, come over and say hi and let us know what's going on and ask whatever questions you might have over there. So,
right. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and it'll be something, it's going to be the same, but different. Because I think all these platforms, they're kind of trying to bring more content creators and producers on their platform. So I think it'll be a fun new way to interact with you guys. But let's see. I had a couple of questions here. Somebody said baby girl is the most ticklish. Don't tickle her.
Yeah. Baby girl might bite you if you try to tickle her. Oh, look, this is Raymond leaving a comment. He says, thanks for a great YouTube channel. It's been an excellent resource. Videos about replacing popped rivets. Which ones can we replace? Ooh.
That's a good question for Vinny, I think. But I've seen Vinny creatively use rivets. In other words, I think you could probably replace all your rivets. And in fact, you can add rivets sometimes. Like if there's a small dent or imperfection in the aluminum, sometimes like Vinny will very creatively like pop a rivet and add a rivet. And it
aluminum to cover.
And it ends up making it look like it was all meant to be and meant to be there. And it really improves the look of the trailer.
We had one of our rock guards had a piece pop loose last year. This was before we put the new ones on. And it was basically a little broken piece of metal that was just rubbing against the aluminum skin on the front corner of our Airstream. And it basically wore a hole in the Airstream skin over the course of the few weeks before we were able to get it fixed and when it happened. And so basically they sort of filled it with a putty of some sort. And then Vinny covered it with a piece of aluminum skin and he put rivets all the way around it. So it looks like it's like a patch, but it's really cool looking. Now it's hidden by our rock guard, but I could see where if you had something like that elsewhere on your Airstream, if you put like a really cool design on it, with the rivets, it's a battle wound. You don't want everything to be so pristine. Those battle wounds are what give you your stories. So I do think that you can take those rivets and, make a cool little patch out of it or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think we've shown that in video yet of where Vinny patched that area, but it ended up being really cool.
Was it in the ceramic coating video?
Maybe briefly, but it's almost a shame that it's hidden from view.
Yeah, because it looks so cool.
Yeah. So let's see. Barry says, I'm going to pick up my Wildwood FSX 2021 this week. Very nice. Any suggestions on equipment that is not standard that I might need? Well, tune in to our Amazon chat. Really on Tuesday.
This week on Tuesday, we're going to talk about the things that you need.
We're going to orient the first one that we do there for really more towards RV beginners and just talk about the basics and what our experience has been with a variety of different, products from Lynx levelers to.
We're going to talk about like tank treatments and things like that. That the core essentials that you need to take on your first trip. And then after that, you sort of learn what to add on your own. Everybody has different needs and wants. You know, some people just can't live without that espresso machine. They've got to have that in their RV. Whereas that's not something we really care about. Sean has his little maca pot that he makes coffee in, and he's good to go. So those sorts of things you'll learn on your own. But we're talking about the basics that everybody needs before they pull out of their driveway that first time.
I really want to acknowledge and thank Randy.
Yeah. Randy
for
Monroe.
his,
Look at that cute
chat.
little picture. That
And he
little baby
says,
with you.
hey guys, I was lucky enough to reserve a couple days at Grovant in July. Do they still have first come in the mix if I want another night? Very good question.
We have heard rumor that they do have a few sites that they're keeping as first come, first serve, but we haven't really had confirmation of that. So I would not go into it planning that. I would tell them when you check in that you would like to extend by one night. And I'm sure the people working there will do their best to accommodate you if they can, but it might mean changing sites. So just know.
I think we're going to be there for at least around a week in September.
We've got at least 10 days reserved in mid-September.
We typically don't announce in advance when we're going to be somewhere, but we're going to make an exception for you guys. We'll tell you guys.
Just don't knock on our door before 9:30 in the morning. That's my only request, because I will still be in my pajamas and it will be very awkward. And I probably will still have my retainer in, which is also very awkward. So that's my only request. Don't knock on the door before 9:30 in the morning. You don't want to see
me in my bathrobe.
Yeah. You don't want to see us in Cousin Eddie mode, which is what you would get before 9:30 in the morning. We're not morning people.
Yeah. A friend of ours sent us a picture of a sticker that said, I guess, if the Airstream's rocking, don't bother knocking. That might be done. But we're married, so the Airstream doesn't rock very frequently. So don't have to worry about that. I wanted to acknowledge Marco also.
Oh, wow.
Thank really
you,
generous
Marco. Very
super
generous.
Chat. That's super
we
kind of you.
Appreciate that very much.
Thank you so much.
And
also, whoops, one of them just dropped off. Okay.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Oh.
High Desert Wheeler says, what's your favorite spot in Colorado?
Ooh,
Colorado has an incredible variety of terrain.
Yeah, because some of it is sort of desert-like. I mean, near the
like Mesa Verde, is radically different from Great Sand Dunes, which is different from Black Canyon.
Right, and then you got Rocky Mountain National Park. I don't know what would be my favorite, because I think they're all unique in their own way.
I really loved that area of sort of national forest. I guess it was
Steamboat.
Yeah, was it? Well, I was thinking of Stevens Creek, maybe. It was a national forest campground.
Near the big water reserve. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which was sort of near Black Canyon of the Gunnison. That was a really cool area.
Also, we should acknowledge our friends Mark and Paige Schnell. We love their driveway.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorite spots.
I don't think it's open to the public, but we did appreciate them allowing us to camp in their driveway for a while there.
But we have some longtime friends who have a place in Colorado with a wonderful Airstream parking spot right there in the driveway. And they were kind enough to extend the courtesy for us to park there last year, and we had a great time.
That's one benefit of having an RV. When you're traveling, you can stop and visit a friend for a night or two, and you're not really inconveniencing them because you're bringing your own bedroom and your own bathroom. So it's hard to really complain about a house guest that brings their own house. So it's one of the benefits of RVing for sure. Thank you, Marco. We appreciate that so much.
Yep, super kind.
And we try to share all of our mistakes so that you don't make the same mistakes we've made. Anytime something goes wrong, Sean usually laughs and says, well, this will make a great episode, of Long, Long Honeymoon. So we're sort of usually halfway, gnashing our teeth like this is terrible, that whatever's happened has happened. And then the other half of us is going, wow, this will be a great episode. So,
well, that's super kind. Patricia.
This is Patty.
Yeah, Patty.
That we have to meet up with this week.
Did you know?
And she's also a supporter
famous
on YouTube.
with the Airstream engineers. We had a reason to reach out to them, and they have great. Well,
that's really
I will
sweet.
say we camped at Airstream 2 or 3 times because we came through it's been a while since we've been up there.
Yeah,
but
it's
to
probably
Jackson
been at least
Center.
5 years since we've been to the
That's very
mothership.
kind of you to say. I think it's just longevity more than anything else.
We've been around a long time.
We've been doing it a long time. I mean, because back in the early days, there was nobody doing the RV video thing.
Because when we started doing this, we did not have smartphones. The iPhone was not out yet.
That's how old we are.
That's how long we've been around.
I did not have gray hair when we started doing this.
And Sean was recording on an actual video camera that recorded to tape. So he would have to transfer it from tape to computer.
It was just a painful process.
So it was a major, I mean, it's still a lot of work, but it's not as much work as it used to be. So.
David says the Easy Start is awesome. It let me run a 13K air conditioner with a 2200 watt generator.
Yeah.
We do have a soft start installed on our air conditioner, and we do recommend it if you want to be more confident that you'll be able to run your air conditioner with a generator, especially with a smaller generator.
Yeah.
Then you need to get one of those soft starts.
Jim Pratt is asking us a question.
Jim says, I've been ordering a ton of stuff on Amazon since the pandemic. Any chance of Canadian store? That's an excellent question, Jim. We will talk to our contacts in Amazon.
Yeah, we sort of have some better contacts now, and we'll ask again if it's possible for us to have a Canadian storefront since we are not Canadian.
I mean, I've been working on some product categories. We're going to have maple syrup, hockey sticks, hockey pucks, those hats, what are those?
Bounty hat?
Beaver skin hats or whatever.
No.
You know what I mean? That come down over your ears.
Now none of the Canadians want to buy anything from you.
Jim's gonna cancel me.
Yeah,
Jim's gonna
he's only teasing.
Jim's gonna bounce me from the chat.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
It's like, Sean, you have been deleted. I always like to tease our Canadian friends. But we love Canada. And in fact, Canada, I really want to get back up and do.
Has some of the most amazing camping.
I mean, truthfully, some of the prettiest country in North America is in Canada, like British Columbia.
Beautiful
Yukon.
Dark skies where you can see the stars so clearly. So we're hoping the border opens soon because really we want to go back to Glacier and cross over and do Waterton Lakes Provincial Park. If you haven't been to Waterton Lakes, it is incredibly gorgeous, has the cutest little town there and some fun little restaurants and some great hiking. So it's a cool place to check out. And we really hope that they open the border soon.
Well, we've got a lot of super chats I want to acknowledge. Meteorologist Brian Smith, y'all plan to do any more east of the Mississippi? Very few folks talk about place east, yet there's so many campers here. That's a really good point. Love to know more. A day's drive from Tennessee. We will do more. We'll make a point. We'll make a mission of doing that. We really should get back up to.
Well, we were supposed to go
Blue
to
Ridge.
Charleston and Savannah and some of those areas back in April, and we had a parent dislocate her shoulder and have to have shoulder replacement surgery. So we sort of put that on the back burner because we had to take care of Mama Michael and do some other things here in Birmingham. So we didn't get to do that trip. And so we will do it, not in the heat of summer, but we will do that either in the fall or possibly next spring. But on our way out this year, we might look into going through Asheville, North Carolina, and some of those areas before we head west. We'll see.
And Brian, I wonder if you saw our chat with meteorologist James Spann.
Yes.
We're really happy about that.
The GOAT, James Spann.
Yeah.
He's a legend in our area.
Yeah, in our area, he's saved many lives.
Oh, look at Wesley.
Hey,
How
Wesley.
cute.
Wesley loves Oktoberfest. So do we.
How cute is Wesley?
Wesley says, hi, baby girl. How many miles on Seymour? Seymour has around 192,000 miles.
Yeah. He's closing in on that 200,000 mile mark.
I hate to say it. Seymour's got a few issues, guys. Few little issues.
He's starting to get a little
Seymour's
finicky.
brakes are making some interesting noises. And
we'll be getting those looked at next week.
He's going to be getting a thorough checkup before we hit the road.
Let's see.
Also want to acknowledge Denise.
Let's see. I think scroll down. There.
Sorry. Yep. We're finding the comments.
Sorry.
There we go.
There we go. Hi, Denise. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you very
What
much.
do we keep in our
What
first
do we keep
aid
in our first
kit?
aid kit?
Well, we've got rubbing alcohol. We've got, what's the
Neosporin,
peroxide?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Neosporin. We've got some little butterfly strips, Band-Aids, gauze. Some of that stretchy Moleskin is the biggie for you hikers out there. That saves me. I always get a blister on my left heel, so I always have some Moleskin on hand. Of course, the typical like Pepto-Bismol, cold medicine, Dramamine if you do something that can make you seasick or, that sort of thing. Of course, then just ibuprofen, Tylenol, those sorts of things. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary, I don't think. I do keep an ace bandage because we are known to have some sprains here and there. We don't have great knees and ankles between the two of us.
My knees are getting worse every day, sadly.
And probably, the number of the nearest hospital. We don't really keep that on hand, but it's probably not a bad idea to do that if you're going, out hiking and such.
Say hi to George.
Oh, hi, George.
And thank you again, Denise, for the super chat, by the way. It says,
George, didn't we meet you in Utah?
I'm thinking maybe we did.
Did we meet you in the parking lot of the Burger King and the grocery store? Was that you, George? I think it was.
I'm not sure if that was George. Maybe it was. It says, when you plan to come back to Utah, we will be back this summer. I can pretty much guarantee you.
Yeah, for sure.
I really want to go back to Moab and spend some more time there.
Unfortunately, I think Moab is getting completely slammed right now, so I don't know if we'll really get there.
That's the word. So I want to say hi to
Glenn. Let's see. Oh, can you find Glenn's comment?
Yeah.
I think you have to scroll down. There he is.
Yep.
Hi,
we appreciate
Glenn.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Glenn.
much for that. We appreciate that. You look like you've been running a marathon or an Ironman or something.
We really appreciate you guys.
For
we really want to thank all of you for your support over the years and encouragement.
Absolutely.
I think we have one of the most positive communities on the interwebs, certainly on YouTube. Like YouTube,
and we are very, very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I mean, social media can be a very toxic place, really. Yeah. But I think maybe it has something to do with not only our topic, which is uplifting and cheerful. We like to talk about happy topics.
Yes.
And about
escaping,
having a good time with your family and friends.
Yes.
But also, I think just maybe the type of people who are attracted to the outdoors are less toxic. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, we really appreciate you very much for all of your encouragement over the years.
Absolutely.
I wanted to acknowledge Ivan and Josie, who asked a question. Yes. If you use a GoPro, what accessories do you use and recommend to a beginner? It's funny you should ask this because I think in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably do a live stream on Amazon just talking about camera gear.
He gets asked about his camera gear all the time.
Because I get asked a lot of questions about drones and about GoPros and video cameras and still cameras. And so I'm probably going to dedicate one entire live stream on Amazon to just talking about that sort of stuff. And that's a good example of the type of thing we could do on that platform when I would never do like an hour-long talk about camera stuff on our YouTube channel because I don't think it would quite fit, but I'll do it over there on Amazon. So accessories I use and recommend it. I think there's a chest strap you can get that's great. Yeah. Like if you're ever trying to film yourself, riding a bike or a scooter or anything like that, really almost doing anything. I mean, if you were doing stuff on the RV, like I've filmed, for example, we've been at the dump station and it's like you've got this camera right there in between your arms. So anytime you're working with your hands on a project, I think that chest strap is one of the best little gadgets you can get for the GoPro.
You can also get a little mount that'll go, like if you have a bike helmet or something, you can stick it on top of your helmet. So it's sort of like, your view of wherever you're hiking or riding your bike or whatever, just for hands-free use of it.
Yeah, the great thing about the GoPro, I think and I use different action cameras. I have a little Sony action camera and I also have a little one from DJI that I really like that has 2 video screens, one front and back. But the great thing about it is for probably $30 or $40, you can get just a huge kit with all sorts of different mounts. Mm-hmm. And with those little cameras, you can get really creative about where you mount the camera. Sometimes, especially in the early days of Long Long Honeymoon, I would mount those cameras on the hood or on the roof. I still mount them on the roof pretty frequently of our truck or even hanging off the side of the Airstream when we're towing down the highway, and or on the end of a selfie stick that can be good. There's just a lot of different cool things you can do with them. So that's a good question. And you can also
get those little bean bags that you can attach them to. So you can just sort of set them down and they'll sit on their own without having to be on a stand or anything. Right. Those are really helpful.
David says you should visit Newfoundland.
We should.
We planned on doing that a few years ago.
It was the year you had your brain tumor.
Yeah, well,
mild inconvenience of a brain tumor.
There's always a little bit of drama going on behind the scenes, like brain tumors and so forth.
For those of you that don't know about that, Sean has recovered and he's fine. It was not cancerous. He did take medication to shrink the tumor. It worked. Thank the Lord. And he's back with us.
Scott says if we start the Canadian Amazon store, we need to sell poutine and flannel.
I mean, poutine is the shining crown of Canadian cuisine, I think. It's a genius invention.
Poutine
we enjoy it immensely.
I could pretty much survive on a diet of poutine and
Canadian beer.
And beer, I think so.
Probably so.
So JD Greenleaf said they camped in Calgary a couple years ago and it's great.
You know, the one thing I regret we did not do when we were in Calgary, they have the Olympic bobsledding thing there where you can
wanted to bobsled
and ride in the bobsled with like a bobsled person and do the whole luge thing. That would be incredible, and we didn't do it. I think it was because we were really trying to get to Alaska, but we should have taken a day and done that because that would be really cool.
Mark asked, what is the name again of the protectant that you put on your Airstream? They have an Arctic Fox fifth wheel. It's called RV Nano Shield. And this is something that Vinny Lamica and Brian Bowe have developed over the past few years that really has been optimized for RVs. First, they came out with an Airstream aluminum specific formula, and now they've got one for fiberglass, and they just started doing fiberglass. So you could definitely get your fifth wheel treated with a ceramic coating.
Yep.
And so like we did a whole video about it. We'll probably do another video later this summer once we get back out there.
Up, like what it's been like having it.
I'm really thinking about getting our truck ceramic coated.
I mean, at this point, poor Seymour. I mean, he's so beat up. I mean, he's 14 years old. He's been around the block like a dozen times.
Maybe we should treat him like a baby shoe and dip him in copper or something and just like be done.
Poor Seymour.
Poor Seymour. Poor old Seymour.
Shreveport.
Hello, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, Susan says that James Fan was an awesome video. Meteorologist Brian says, of course he did. A friend. He's such a nice guy and he's so knowledgeable, and he did such an amazing job with that interview because, all we did is we sent him a couple of emails about it. He responded, told us when he could do it. And, he was just such a professional and gave us all sorts of amazing information for people about severe weather. And I'm sure that video will probably, save some lives because he gave such incredible detailed information that a lot of people, if you don't live in an area where tornadoes are a regular thing, you don't know this stuff, just like we don't live in a place where earthquakes happen. So we don't know a lot about earthquake safety. So same thing. But anyhow, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that video.
Yeah, he's been called the most respected man in our state because so many people respect what he does, and he has saved so many lives over the years. Let's see.
Andrea wants to know what made us start our YouTube channel so many years ago before all the financial incentives.
That is an excellent question. I think I was looking for a good creative outlet, and for some reason I wanted to make movies. Like I had this bug of I just wanted to learn how to make movies, and I actually went to this film school, New York Film Academy, up in Manhattan. And I did sort of a little digital filmmaking boot camp. And then I went to
2 months long.
And I went to another one. It was also New York Film Academy, but it was out in California at the Universal Studios campus. So
you got to film on the Universal Studios backlot. So it was pretty cool.
If you're ever in those cities, you might occasionally see students walking around with these big NYFA, NYFA shirts or sweatshirts, like that's the New York Film Academy. So anyway, I wanted to make movies, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. And I used to think about doing film festivals and all this stuff. But YouTube came along, and it was a way to practice making films.
Yeah.
And nobody was really doing edited.
And I think the first couple of
then.
videos on our channel were film contest videos that we had filmed.
Yeah, uploaded. I used to write goofy little short films and film them.
Yeah. So actually, he won some of his first editing software.
Yeah,
through
that's
one
right.
of those contests.
That would be pretty funny. Maybe I could show that film on our channel someday, because it was a little zombie movie.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. And Kristy was a zombie.
I was a zombie. And,
So, like I did it really for many years, and trying to kind of figure out how to crack the code to be able to make a little money doing it.
Yeah.
And then over time, all of these different avenues developed, but it certainly.
Back then it was more blogging. Like, we did have a blog that Sean would write, little articles on, and then our YouTube videos would be on the blog. And back then your YouTube video couldn't be longer than like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So all our videos were super short. So people ask us sometimes, why are your old videos so short? It's because
they had to be.
They had to be.
Then after a few years, they became a little bit longer. And Jim Pratt points out, those were your deep thoughts about the Michigan UP days, fun stuff. I mean, really, if you look at those videos, honestly, I look back at those and I'm pretty proud of those. There's nothing clickbaity about those videos.
Right.
It was actually really an attempt I was trying to do like a TV show type quality thing, but I was just basically a guy and a girl and a tripod running around, but some of them are pretty. They've held up pretty well.
Would hold the microphone for us.
Yeah,
hold the boom mic.
I had a boom pole. I sort of went out and bought this stuff that they tell you to buy at film school. You need to have a boom pole.
Don't end up using unless you're making a true film. But so we learned a lot.
Paul says our son so wants to go to film school.
I
will say this, you learn by doing, as Captain Kirk once said. Like, we learn by doing. And so I think I learned just as much or more just by making films.
But so I do think going to that
was really helpful. It was kind of like
showed you the basics.
Right. And it was a very good foundation upon which to build.
Yeah. So before you send your kid off to film school for $60,000 or something,
you
might try one of those New York Film Academy boot camps, because they do have those in the summer. They have like 4 week, 6 week, 2 month, and they'll help you find a place to stay while you're there. And it could be a great way for him to find out if it's what he really wants to do, or if it's just a hobby. So
this is cool. Gary says there were 3 bison in this camp this morning.
Oh wow, that's cool.
They are camping in Teddy Roosevelt National Park.
Oh wow, very cool. That's a great campground, and I think that's a national park that really gets overlooked. We did a video about it, I guess last year.
I think so. Yeah.
We've been there a few times, and the prairie dogs are really fun to watch there, and the wild horses are really interesting, because it's one of the few places you really see wild horses in the U.S. So it's a great place to go.
Brenda says she'll be up in Medora a week from Sunday.
And the campground there in Medora, I can't think of the name of it.
Red Trails
has the fastest internet connection of any
was
place we've ever stayed.
Like, I don't know. I think there must be some government underground facility there or something, because that was like the fastest internet. And this was like 10 years ago. We were up there at one point, and it was I couldn't believe.
Oh, look. Somebody said they remember. Oh, go ahead. You can take that comment first if you want.
Yeah. Well, Afri Brown Olafson said, if you bought a new tow vehicle, what would it be? We are sort of announcing that we're looking.
Starting the process. We hope to not have to buy this year. We hope to wait till next year. But if we found the right candidate, the right deal,
then
if
we would
some truck
buy.
Company wants to give us a truck, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll see.
It probably won't happen, but maybe. Fingers crossed. We don't have our heart set on one particular brand. I think we really just want to get out there and start shopping and comparing and just looking to see what they've got, because we haven't looked at new cars in 14 years.
I have to say, I'm kind of interested in the Dodge Ram because of the Cummins engine.
Oh, right. It's supposed to have.
And Allison transmission, I believe. It's supposed to be really good.
I have to say, the one thing about our Ford truck that I really love, that I don't know if other truck companies have, I haven't noticed, is the keypad entry on the driver's side door, because you can lock your keys in your car and not have to carry them with you. It's great. So you've got a little keypad on the door.
These days, they probably have facial recognition, and they're just like
maybe so. And that tells you how far out of touch we are with what new vehicles have on them. But I do think that keypad entry is a luxury that we will not be willing to give up. So we'll see.
We'll say hi to Roger in Australia.
Oh, wow, Roger.
2019.
That's amazing. We hope to make it to Australia someday soon.
Brian wants to see,
you want to see the zombies.
And Paul remembers you as Cruella at
yes.
Disney. That's a great memory.
So I've done the Cruella outfit. The first year I wore that outfit was the year 2000. I was in college. Can you believe that? And a friend of my mom's made part of it for me. And I've won so many costume contests wearing that outfit. And a couple of years ago, I sort of revamped it and went like full in with the makeup that year. And I think that made it better. But there's a new Cruella de Vil movie out now. And so I might have to bring back Cruella for Halloween this year. We'll see.
Dan says hello from Parawan Gap, Utah.
Hi, Dan.
Hey,
Thank
Dan.
you very much
Thank you for the super chat.
Super
we appreciate it. Burton, Christmas Lights. Ask what model is your Airstream? Our Airstream is a 2003 25-foot classic.
Yes.
So if you look at Airstreams, I mean, truly from the exterior, especially after having our ceramic coated, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between our Airstream and a brand new one, because we also have the new rock guards, courtesy of Airstream, and those were installed by Ronnie at Airstream Nuts and Bolts.
Yes, and then
and the new logo on the front and back.
New logos on front and back. Ronnie put those on as well, and then Vinny put our 16-inch wheels and tires on. And so that sort of gave us the newer look.
So we've updated it over the years. Now the interior could still use some work.
Yeah, you know, we really need to recover our sofa. And that's just something we haven't tackled. We really need to.
Marilyn asked, do you use a water filter in your trailer? And we'll be talking about water filters on Tuesday on the Amazon live stream.
Because we think that's a must-have for new RVers.
What we typically use are, we have water filters outside the trailer. So we filter the water before it's put in the trailer, so to speak. And
then we use a Brita water pitcher inside the trailer. We try not to use bottled water very much, just because disposable plastic, I mean, you know, we're trying to not go through as much of that as possible. And then it's just easier to store the Brita water pitcher than it is to store a bunch of water bottles in our refrigerator to keep the water cool. So
last year we got a new type of water filter that attaches to the hose, and it's sort of it's this huge contraption.
It's like a double filter.
It's a double water filter. So it pre-filters the water before running it through a finer filter.
Yeah.
And that goes into the trailer. And then again, we filter it again when we put it in our drinking water.
Yeah.
So triple filtered water.
So I feel pretty safe drinking our
fine.
fresh water. I mean, we haven't grown a third eye yet, so I guess we're okay.
Sam says Ford is the only one with keypad entry. There's some with cell phone access features, though. Some other people have chimed in and said that you can unlock your trucks now using the app. So that's really interesting. Mark says 2021 Dodge Ram 3500 dually 6.7 liter.
Wow.
Long bed 4x4 Cummins.
Wow, a long bed. How is it parking that bad boy? I want to know how long that truck is, because I don't think I want anything longer than what Seymour is. And Seymour is like 20 and a half feet long, 21 feet long. I
bet you will if you want crew cab. It'll be longer.
Don't tell me that. But I guess it'll have a front and rear camera, so I'll have more angles. Do they have front cameras or just rear cameras? Because I think a front camera is almost more important than a rear camera on a big truck, because, you know, the front end of that truck is so big, you can't see, you know, just how close you're getting to things. So I think a little front camera would be more helpful to me than a rear camera personally.
Catherine says they have a 2020 F-250 with the 7.3 liter Godzilla gas engine.
Wow.
I've heard about this.
That sounds
Godzilla
impressive.
engine.
And Catherine is a member on our YouTube page. Thank you very much, Catherine, for supporting us that way. We appreciate it so much. Let's see. Oh, let's see what Aaron says.
Hope to see if you review the Clear Source Ultra. Okay, we'll check that out.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We do not have that.
Tony asked if we visited the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We have not. And, I went to school in North Carolina. We have family in North Carolina. North Carolina is a really interesting state because you've got mountains and you've got beaches.
Yeah.
And we really need to visit the Outer Banks. We would love to.
Yeah. And that, again, was something we were hoping to do on that trip through Savannah and Charleston and, that little coast. So maybe we can do that in the fall, or maybe we'll have to do that next spring.
Catherine says her F-250 has a 360-degree camera.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Johnny's F-150 with a long bed,
and
about 20 or 21 feet long.
Okay.
I wish we could get by with an F-150, but I'm afraid it'll be right on the edge of handling our Airstream Classic, because the Classics are pretty heavy.
A lot heavier.
And so
because we have all of our cabinetry is real wood. So,
and I have to say, I wish we could use an F-150 because I think it'd be easier to maneuver around town and just a more livable daily driver. The F-250s are fantastic, but they're just big beasts to maneuver around town. But, there was a time, I can tell you, last year we were towing across Texas on some kind of small highway, and the road was okay until it wasn't. We hit some kind of really just terrible, gigantic pothole doing 60 miles an hour. And it's almost like our entire rig seemed to skip and plant. And that F-250, just having that mass, it just grabbed our trailer and held it in place. And it was still a scary moment. But, Jim Pratt says he has a 150 and he does feel it's on the edge with regard to towing his rig.
Oh, wow.
So, that's the issue.
Ken says his has 15 or 17 outside cameras. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
We were in a vehicle recently that had the overhead view on the dash screen. That is a pretty amazing technology.
Oh, Fords are fun to steal. I don't want to hear that.
Someone attempted to steal our truck while we were in San Antonio. We put an upgraded security system on our truck.
Wow, that's good to know about. Thanks for the heads up on that. And Sally Ann says, good luck on the hunt. Be prepared for the prices. Yeah, we're sort of,
bracing ourselves
for the pricing. Let's see what that.
Let's see. I'm going to see what Aaron is towing with a 2021 Ram 1500 Limited with max tow. She's rated at 12,560 with the V8. Tows like a truck. Well, I have to say, I think you're very wise to choose a tow vehicle like that for your trip out west because, I love Porsches.
Yes.
And I think it's cool towing with a Porsche in certain places.
Parts of the country, but I wouldn't want to do it through the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, because we've been in a couple situations.
But you're saying you're going to go back to your Cayenne ASAP. Would you feel comfortable towing with your Porsche Cayenne through the Rocky Mountains? That would be my question.
Yeah, I know those.
Just because most people aren't going to be able to change from one vehicle to the next.
Drive like a Porsche, that's for sure.
Yeah, they certainly don't.
But when you're in those mountainous areas, you may greatly appreciate having the mass. It's really about the mass of the tow vehicle being able to command the trailer.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want the trailer
especially on
dictating.
those 12% grades.
Well, Carol is waiting a new F-350 2021. So Marilyn asks if there's any particular tire sensor we recommend. We have the Tire Minder tire pressure system, and I've said before I like it, but I don't love it.
It's good. It's not great.
But it does its job, and then there is a sensor warning alert, like if it detects
for temperature and pressure.
Yeah, temperature and pressure, like high temperatures or both low and high pressure. If the pressure gets too high, like the last time we were towing, I think maybe the pressure got a little too high.
Yeah.
And so I do like that about it. It's just the interface is a little bit clunky.
But it's easy to install because it just goes, on your little valve stems. So it's not difficult to do yourself. So that's one benefit, but you know.
By Robert says key fobs allow easier theft. Get a Faraday shielded sleeve or box.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
See. Aaron says, I will give you a whole blog on this when I'm done. Bag for the truck is carrying all the dirty things in the bed and not in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, and that's one of the things we hear from a lot of people. You know, they want that bed to put a generator in, to put bikes in, you know, things that you wouldn't want to put in the back seat of your SUV or in the, you know, cargo area of your SUV, which I totally understand.
Ken makes a great point too about the engine brake of these trucks being very important for stopping. I mean, that's been very helpful with our big old dinosaur diesel truck, but we do have the full tow package with the tow haul mode and the engine brake, and it really, really helps going those downgrades. Right. Like we've always had complete confidence in those steep downgrades. And, you know, every year, for example, at Teton Pass out in Wyoming, somebody loses control of their vehicle coming
multiple
down
times.
Teton. Yeah. And sometimes it's a big rig truck, but sometimes it's an RV. I mean, usually. Or
somebody towing a small trailer, you know, that might just have equipment in it or something, not even an RV. But, yeah, so I don't know. I would rather have too much power than not enough, and I would rather be a little bigger than I need to be than be underpowered. That's just me for my personal safety. I think anytime we've towed our truck through that stretch of road, it goes from Missoula, Montana over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and it is kind of a treacherous tow in my opinion because it's very like kind of windy, curvy, downhill pretty steadily for most of the way. And to me, the downhill is much scarier than the pull uphill, because uphill, if you're going slow, if you need to take a little more time, it's not a big deal. But when you're going down and you need to engage that, you know, engine brake or your trailer brakes or whatever, I think having that power of our big truck, you know, gives me more peace of mind. And I feel like it really commands the trailer well. So I don't know. We'll see.
John and Dargy's Adventures asked, for 15-inch wheels and 6,000-pound dry weight, what tires would you recommend? LT radials. I would recommend LT tires. And I always feel like I should put this disclaimer up of, I'm not a tire professional. You should seek your tire professional's advice. But I know that like Airstream puts LT tires on their top of the line classic travel trailers. Yeah. And the ones that they charge $180,000 for or whatever these days.
Their heaviest classic.
They come with
Airstream
LT tires, and they use the Michelin LT. And that's what we've been running for several years. Again, ours were put on at Vinny's North Bay Airstream Repair out in California.
Yeah.
But I think that is probably one of the best upgrades that we've made, period, to our Airstream setup, because we had a lot of tire problems, especially in the early years.
Yeah. More blowouts than we care to discuss.
Yeah. And, you know, that's no fun when you're on the road. And, you know, we had those situations when it's 100 degrees outside and we suffer a blowout. Not only does it damage your travel trailer, then you have to go through all that hassle. It spoils your day. It can ruin your entire trip if it damages your RV enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say those Michelin LTs are a great choice. Sue says, hello from the Thumb of Michigan. We love you guys. Thanks for all you do. The Thumb of
Michigan. So she's here somewhere.
Thumbs up to the thumb.
Yes.
You know, Michigan is a surprising state. I mean, I think a lot of people, if you've never been to Michigan, you don't realize how beautiful so much of Michigan is. You know, because I think a lot of people, they think of Michigan, they think of Motor City, they think of Detroit, they think of the urban areas. But, you know, when you really get out in a lot of the beach areas, I guess, and the Upper Peninsula,
Traverse City and that area.
Cherry, I guess they call it the Cherry Peninsula.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, Traverse City is amazing.
There's so many campgrounds there. So if you haven't been, I recommend it because there's a lot of fun things to do. And the summertime, the weather is pretty great. So it's a nice place to visit. So thanks, Sue, for saying hello from Michigan.
You know, Charles says there are no LT tires made for 15-inch rims. Now, that was definitely the case when we made our switch from 15-inch rims to 16-inch.
And that was in 2016.
Yeah, but I believe last year that Vinny said that you can get the LTs now for 15-inch. So, I mean, Charles he may be right. He was definitely right a few years ago. But I think maybe just in the last year or so, they came out with some 15-inch LTs.
I think they did. So. Ask Vinny about that. He definitely knows.
Yep. Fairweather remembers the Maypop tires.
Yeah.
We used to run Maypop tires.
For sure.
And they really added an extra layer of adventure to your trip.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ken and Cora made the trip from Coeur d'Alene to Missoula last week.
Yeah.
Agree about the air brakes. Yeah, that is a pretty scary tow.
And I think it's worse going the opposite way from Missoula to Coeur d'Alene. But yeah,
you're going at a pretty fast speed in some of those.
And there's a
grades.
lot of
and a lot of like left and right turns.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
downhill. It's rough. Let's see. Aaron
says it doesn't matter what your tow vehicle is or its capacity if it's set up wrong.
Yes,
that's true.
I totally agree with that for sure.
And we do see that. You see it
a lot.
Riding down the highway.
We were passing a guy this last year. He was towing just a white box travel trailer. It was a long trailer, probably 30 feet long. And his truck was like, up on big tires. And he had this trailer hitched onto the back. And it was obviously way too heavy for the way he had it attached. And it was just riding on the ball.
Yeah.
Not a chain.
So scary.
Not a sway bar. Nothing.
It's one of those YouTube disaster videos.
Yeah, and it was one of those things that was so bad that I took a picture of it because we were like, wow, that's a terrible setup. And he's like cruising along at 80 miles an hour on the interstate. And it was just like, get away from this guy as fast as we can because this is going to end in disaster. And we don't want to be here for it.
I call it wonky doodle. You can see the wonky doodle setup.
I mean, his truck is riding like this, with the back end back here. And here's the trailer, pushing down. And they're just sort of, which this is not a good indication of what it really looked like, but it's my best I can do at the moment.
I want to give a shout out to Aaron.
Oh, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you for the super chat. And he says, thanks for the videos. It just upgraded our classic 27 front bedroom to 16-inch LTs.
Yeah, I think
that's a great upgrade.
Make a big difference.
Yeah, just the peace of mind that you get, I think, going from trailer tires to the LTs.
And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that little inch bump that you get from getting the bigger rims and the bigger tires can make a difference in an Airstream because they ride so low. So when you're pulling in and out of like gas stations or just shopping centers where you're, sometimes you have a little dip to get through the, off the road into the parking lot, you'll be much less likely to scrape or to drag or anything. So it's not much, but it can make a difference.
Johnny says that Michigan has more coastline than any state except for Alaska. I believe it. Yeah.
That's impressive. I wouldn't have thought it would have had more than Florida, but just goes to show. Let's see.
Antwerp says, how do you navigate Bureau of Land Management land to find boondocking sites, and where do you obtain maps? We did a video earlier this year about finding campsites, and I would recommend you take a look at that video because we go into some detail on the topic. We really like Campendium. I would say first and foremost, would probably recommend Campendium.
Right.
Because it's actually, there's a free and a subscription paid part of it, but you can get a lot of great information from campendium.com, and also there's an app on iOS.
Yeah, and they're working on an app for Android. Right now, you just go to their website, and it works just as well on my Android phone as using my computer. But I think that's probably the best place to look just because you get reviews from other people that have stayed there. They'll tell you how passable it is depending on your RV. Like they'll say, oh, you really need to have a 4-wheel drive, tow vehicle, and you need to be towing a camper that's lifted, because that's our biggest thing. A lot of times when we're looking at boondocking sites is what sort of clearance do we need to have to get there, because our Airstream is not lifted. And so scraping or dragging is one of our biggest concerns. So if it's somewhere where it's really going to be, rocky terrain or whatever, we usually pass on it just because we know that there's a chance we won't be able to navigate it without doing some damage to our underbelly. But yeah, that's the best resource that I know of that consistently gives good information.
I want to say hi to Mary Hamilton. It's always nice to see you, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Good to see you. We hope you're doing well.
Yeah, we've gotten together with Mary a couple of times in the Jackson Hole area.
Yeah.
We have mutual friends there, so hopefully we'll see you there again this year.
So she has a small Lance camper, and she was saying that she talked to Vinny, and he said you need to have 6 lug nuts for LT tires. And yeah, Vinny certainly knows what he's talking about. So, you know, I'm not sure what the options are for people with those smaller, lighter weight campers. And, you know, tire blowouts may not be as big a deal for you guys because you're much lighter and smaller than some of these other RVs. You're not putting 8,000 pounds on those tires. So it's a big difference. So yeah, I would ask somebody like a Vinny or, you know, wherever you take your RV for service and sort of get their opinion on what they think about the different brands of tires that are available for your particular rig.
Joyce says she hopes Seymour makes it another season. They sold their 2003 Ford F-250 diesel, and they're on a wait list for a 2021 F-150. Sorry to see her go, but tired of spending vacation time at the repair shop. I think that's the thing. You have to have confidence in your tow vehicle.
Yeah.
And, you know, Seymour,
confidence
we love
is
him.
starting to wane at this point.
Starting to worry about him. I mean, his heart is in the right place.
He's a sweet guy, but
Seymour usually gets us there.
He can be a little moody these days.
He'll get us there, but you know, I'm just, my confidence is waning a little bit.
I'm not worried about towing around the Southeast. It's when we're, you know, venturing further and further from home, and we start going into those mountains and really getting out there. That's when I start to think, you know, might be time for Seymour to be retired.
Yeah.
Live the good life of just going to the grocery store and back.
We'll be excited to have a new truck, I'm sure, but we might just put Seymour out to pasture. Maybe Christy's dad can use Seymour from time to time.
I'm sure he would enjoy towing his boat with Seymour.
J.M. Hefner said just got back from visiting kids and grandkids in Homewood, Alabama.
Yeah.
Love the people in the area. Very
cool. Since he's familiar with Homewood, my alma mater is Samford University, which is in Homewood, and you probably drive by it all the time. It's a beautiful school, and I have lots of wonderful memories from my days in the Homewood area. So
excellent school. Captain Midnight asks, are metal valve stems required for the tire minder tire pressure monitoring system? They are not required. However, Vinny really strongly recommends that you get metal valve stems. And I believe when he switches over the wheels, he typically does switch to metal valve stems.
I think he does now. I don't think that was the case when ours were installed in 2016. So we do not have metal valve stems. So I don't think it's a requirement.
It's not a requirement.
Probably is better if you do have them.
But it's a little worrisome because, you know, I think without metal valve stems, there's a chance that your valve stems can be damaged by the additional weight of the tire minder system.
Gotcha. So we're living on the edge.
Paul says I should try a King Ranch F350 6.7 diesel. F350. Stepping on up.
King Ranch is the fancy schmancy interior. It's
long
really nice.
Dreamed of King Ranch.
Yeah, it's nice. And Brenda, somebody was answering a question somebody else asked earlier. They wanted to know how heavy our electric bikes were.
63 pounds.
And they are 63 pounds. Brenda is correct. So they're pretty heavy. But I will say once you have them folded, it's a little less awkward to pick them up and put them in the back seat of a truck or put them in the bed of a truck, I think, than lifting a bike that does not fold to put on a bike rack. Right.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I'm pretty fired up about the bikes. And I will say there's going to be a pretty funny video in a couple of weeks. I've gotten some questions about a scooter and like, would we consider traveling with an electric scooter? And so I thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. So we're going to review an electric scooter called the Varla Eagle One, and it has two 1,000 watt motors. And if you know what I'm talking about, a scooter, I'm honestly.
Let's hope that this episode does not end with a visit to the emergency room. Is all I can say.
I'm honestly frightened of this thing.
Like it's a little scary.
We will be double checking the contents of our first aid kit and our whatever health insurance we have.
The scooter came with knee pads, elbow pads, and wrist guards. If that tells you anything, it tells me this is dangerous. Do not try this at home.
But these scooters are increasingly popular too. Now, I think the obvious downside from my standpoint is you don't really get the exercise that you'd get on an e-bike. But the upside is they might be a little bit more portable than an e-bike because they just fold down flat.
For
and
sure.
You could stick them in the back seat or in the bed of pickup or whatever.
But it weighs a lot. It
well,
is heavy.
This one does because it's a really beastly scooter.
It's pretty heavy.
So
somebody else, maybe it was Brenda, was asking if we had ordered any accessories for our bikes yet. And we haven't, because basically my thought and Sean's thought was, if we add the baskets and that sort of thing, can we still fold it? And I don't know if you can. So if you have the baskets and you know if you can fold it or not, let us know.
Richard says he's bowling with his 94 Chevy 2500 van. Covered 11 states. That's awesome. I'm a big believer in getting your life out of vehicles. I mean, like getting your, what would be the expression? Getting a long life out of your vehicles.
Yeah, getting your money's worth.
Your money's worth.
For sure.
I mean, that's typically what we do. We don't change vehicles very often.
We are buy and hold people.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it's the best way to be. It's just the way I am. I don't know. It's in my DNA. So more power to you.
Oh no. Todd says his niece broke her jaw in a scooter crash.
Oh, wow. Ouch. Hey, Todd. It's good to see you, by the way.
Todd.
I'm sincerely concerned about that. And so I have not really even ridden this thing yet. And so the first time we're going to go to the safest area we can find. I'm going to put on all sorts of protective gear.
I think a park with lots of grass.
Lots of soft dirt and soil and grass. And, we'll see.
They said
this guy, Johnny says, 2,000 watt is only about 3 horsepower, so no hot rod. Well, I'll say this thing goes 40 miles an hour. So it's
a scooter that goes 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. I mean, 40 miles an hour on a scooter is
why
is
is
hot
that
enough.
An option? I'm not sure.
William says that Ram trucks can be ordered with a rear air suspension system, eliminating leaf and coil springs. That's very interesting. You can also add air suspension systems, even to our truck. We've looked into that before, but at the time, I don't know, it just seemed like it wouldn't be the best thing for us to do.
Right.
We just stuck with and we do have those Bilstein shocks
on
our truck. We've been very happy with those.
Let's see. Oh, I like Larry's comment. He says, the further you are going, the older you get, the newer your vehicle needs to be. That's probably smart advice, Larry. To be honest, I think that is smart advice for sure.
I think that's smart advice too. As we learned the hard way going to Alaska and back.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Deb says you do have to take the baskets off to fold the bike.
Yeah, in that case, I'm unlikely to install
won't need the baskets. But somebody else said that they can put the bags on and still fold it. So maybe we'll get a basket.
Brenda says you need a license plate for a 40-mile-per-hour scooter. I don't know. Maybe so. I need a crash helmet and I'm going to treat it like a motorcycle. Let's see. The Duolingo Owl asks, what states are y'all planning on visiting?
I think I use your little app, Mr. Owl, to practice my Spanish.
Oh, very interesting.
If that's who you are. We are not planners. So we kind of just fly by the seat of our pants. We know for sure we're going to be in Wyoming and Utah. I think we'll probably definitely be in Idaho and Montana. We may scoot up and go through Illinois and Iowa, sort of that route heading west, but no hard plans because we just like to live on the edge like that.
Yeah. We'll probably go to Northern California. We'll probably go by and see Vinny and Brian, Hey, it is Duolingo Owl. Says,
I need to practice my Spanish more. I can read it fairly well. I don't speak it well.
Susan asks, have you visited every state yet? We've visited every state that we can bring our RV to, our Airstream
So we've been to 49 states. The one lone state we have not visited yet is Hawaii. So we talked about going this year, but we sort of wanted the pandemic stuff to sort of be put to the side. I don't want to wear a mask while I'm hiking outside. That's just me. So, we'll go maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm really eager to get to Hawaii. I wanted to briefly answer Amanda's question. What do you do to keep your dog cool or warm and safe when you go out and explore in areas when you're boondocking. This is a big issue, and it is, baby girls is quite fragile. And that's why, like, sometimes if we know we're going to be doing a lot of off the grid type camping, then baby girl might be residing at her home.
Yeah. So baby girl is kind of our family dog. Yeah. She goes back and forth between us and my parents. My parents originally rescued her, but then baby girl latched on to Sean, and Sean is her most favorite person in the world. And so whenever we are nearby, baby girl is with us. But baby girl does not love the camping life. She is a princess and needs air conditioning at all times.
I wanted to point out, we have done an extensive video about pets and RVs with our friends, Neely's on Wheels, who traveled the country with 3 dogs in their motorhome at the time. Yeah. And
now they're down to 2
They had a lot of great
but...
specific advice. And, I was recently contacted by some folks who have a special temperature monitor that you can have in your RV.
Yeah, which I think is a must if you're going to leave pets behind in an RV and you don't have full hookups.
We may actually do a video on that. And again, that's something too, that's the type of thing we might live stream about over on Amazon that I probably wouldn't do an hour-long live stream on YouTube about, some of this stuff, but I think Amazon's an appropriate platform for it.
But to answer that question, if I was somewhere where the temperatures were extreme, I would not be leaving my pet behind in my RV. If I didn't have a way for them to have air conditioning and for me to monitor the temperature. I think it's just too risky. Some people will ask other RVers to maybe take their pet for the day if you've got a friend nearby, or they'll board their dog for the day at a local vet just so they can be free to roam for the day and not worry about it. Or they'll find BLM land where they can bring their dog along with them versus most national parks don't let you bring pets on the trails. So, you just have to plan accordingly to what your pet needs.
Fair Weather Traveler asks, how do you not plan? I just planned my first RV trip and it seemed like everything is booked 6 months in advance. I think it depends on how much you want to stay at, the national parks and certain campgrounds, or how much do you want to be off the grid, staying in Bureau of Land Management land or, national forest. There are a lot of places you can camp where you can just sort of, if you're going to be in an area, you could look on Campendium, you find the locations, read some reviews, and then scout it out. It's a little bit more of a freewheeling way to travel.
Right.
But a lot of times we'll find really beautiful camping locations that way, but you're not going to have full hookups that way.
Right.
And the national parks do fill up far in advance these days.
Yeah. And it used to be where more national parks had more first come, first serve campgrounds. But last year, the influx of COVID campers kind of changed that for this year. So we may run into more problems this year, not planning in advance. So I'm sure that will show up in a future episode if that becomes the case. We're probably better set up now that we've got our full solar set up. We don't have to have hookups, so we can spend more time on Bureau of Land Management land and that sort of thing. So that gives us a little more freedom. And we are usually not worried about a time constraint, so we can sort of spend extra time where we need to and move on when we need to. So that can make a difference too.
So let's see. Spouty was asking what kind of scooter that we're going to be reviewing. It's called the Varla Eagle One, and it is a scooter that you stand on. So you're standing, and it has handlebars that come up, and then you ride at 40 miles per hour down the road.
Right.
Hopefully not. There's Mach 5.
Oh, hey, Mach 5.
Mach 5 says, sorry, I'm late to the party. We recently took our 3rd RV trip, and unfortunately, my wife broke a small bone in her foot the night before we left. Nothing like Sean's injury, but we should hopefully be back camping soon. Sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear that. We hope that she heals quickly and that you can get back out there.
Yeah, I've been through the broken foot, and mine was pretty bad and really had me off my feet for months. I mean, it was probably 3 or 4
Sean was
months.
No weight bearing for the first 6 weeks.
I was no weight bearing, but I was definitely weight gaining.
Yeah,
because I wasn't getting any exercise, and I was surviving off a lot of comfort food, which where we're from means fried chicken. And so
somebody was asking if we were going to be in Montana near 4th of July, and we will not. Let's see. Kelly McBride, thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat. Kelly says, living in Wisconsin, it's quite a drive to a big national park, but we just got home from a wonderful camping trip in the beautiful driftless region of Wisconsin and Blue Mountains. Thank you for covering all the gorgeous national parks.
Yes,
thank you,
absolutely.
Kelly. We recently sort of went through our list of national parks, and we visited more than 30, but there are more than 60.
There's 63 now. I think they just added a new one last year. And so we've been to 31 of the 63. So we're kind of at the halfway point. There are like 5 in Alaska that you can only get to by using a bush plane, like a seaplane to get into. So we didn't do any of those when we were in Alaska. And there's several that we've just driven by so many times, like Crater Lake. We've probably driven by Crater Lake at least half a dozen times. And it's just been bad weather or just not in the cards for us to stop at that point in time. That Lawson Volcanic National Park, which is in Northern California, we've driven past that exit many times. King and Sequoia, we've driven past several times. So Joshua Tree, we've driven by several times, and just hasn't been in the cards at that point in time for us to stop there. So we're going to try to make an effort to get to some of those.
Crater Lake.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, we've driven past that many times.
Yeah, it's sort of one of our missions is to visit more of the national parks. Like we're going to try probably ultimately to visit all of them. That's a pretty challenging mission, sure. I will say. But every year we'll probably check off another half dozen. I mean, last year we went to Death Valley, went to Saguaro. Yeah. We went to Hot Springs.
Yep. We went to,
as far as new national parks,
Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
Yeah, Black Canyon of the Gunnison is amazing.
What's the Sands one in Colorado?
Great Sand Dunes.
We went to
that's
that
5 different ones. So we'll be doing videos about all those places pretty soon too. Like for example, Death Valley National Park. It was really, really interesting. Yeah. It's a massive, massive park.
Yeah. And we were there in December.
Which is probably the right time of year to be there because it gets so
it was pretty
hot.
comfortable. We were able to camp with no hookups and not be miserable. So,
Mr. Blescott says, I love your content. Thank you very much.
We appreciate that.
Queen Curmudgeon.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I spent 3 great years there. I graduated from there. It's a great place.
William said Amish country in Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania is a must. We have been through.
We did that in 2010.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. It's really fascinating.
That's when we went to Layman's. It's like a big store. It's sort of like a department store. It's where they sell all the Amish equipment. So, you can buy every type of appliance that doesn't run off electricity. Everything runs off of like propane, or it's like hand cranked. So that was a really cool place to visit.
Yeah, it's actually interesting from an off the grid perspective, because something you learn as you're learning about the Amish lifestyle is they really are all about just being off the grid. So they will use appliances as long as you can power them off the grid, and they will use generators and so forth as well. So there was that entire department store with all sorts of fascinating, I mean, just
it's really amazing some of the things that they sell there. Cause some of them are, things that have been used since like the early 1900s that they just haven't changed, So,
and some of those appliances are incredibly expensive,
thousands of dollars, and they have all sorts of like composting toilets and washing machines and dryers that all run off of propane. It's really crazy. So very interesting place to visit. Lots of great food there. Beautiful countryside.
Let's see. Patty asked, anything that you learned from your lightning strike that we can use to protect our RV? Yes, definitely have Ronnie install a surge protector in your RV, because I think our surge protector really saved our appliances and probably saved a lot of that expensive solar equipment from being damaged. In the past, I'd been kind of on the fence about whether or not surge protectors merited the cost, but now I absolutely am a believer.
You're 100%. Yes, get the surge protector.
Yeah, it's definitely worth doing, because there's a lot at stake. If you have a light, and a lot of people have trouble in RV parks with low voltage, improperly wired power posts.
Yes.
And of course there can be high voltage situations. And in this case, that lightning strike, and you could see inside the surge protector. I think if you saw the video,
it was like the soot from it exploding inside that little box.
So, Ronnie came up and we worked on the Airstream, and he he installed a new replacement surge protector.
Yeah.
So
and the benefit, I think, of having one hardwired in, I don't think it's necessarily better than the ones, the bigger ones that you can get that you can just plug into. But the difference is it's there all the time. Like, you don't have to remember to plug it in, it's just automatically there. And I think that's probably where it's been a benefit over years past, where we did have the external one that you had to plug into, because our storage box where we store our power cable was not large enough to put that surge protector in there with it. So we would have to remember to get it out of a box that was in the bed of our truck. And sometimes, when you're pulling in a campground, you're tired, you're not thinking, you're only staying for one night, and you just forget,
sort of like one other thing
to remember. And so if you're somebody that you've got room in your area to put, the surge protector with your cord, then I think one of those standalone plug-in units will be perfectly fine for you and will do the same job. But if you don't have the luxury of being able to store that with your power cord and you think you are going to forget, then yeah, I would get one hardwired in.
Yeah. The other thing with the hardwired inside your RV, you don't have to worry about losing it or it walking away. Shall we say? Like, it's not,
you don't have to worry about locking it down.
Like, cause those are pretty expensive.
Yeah. They're like $250 if you get a really good, big one.
I mean, I hate to say that, but they could potentially be stolen. Although, I don't think it's a huge risk, but it can happen.
Right.
But, after this event, I'm almost thinking you might want a surge protector outside and one inside.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
Because that lightning strike, we happen to know it knocked out destroyed a lot of TV sets in the area and telephones and all sorts. It did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So I think our surge protector definitely saved us. So I'm glad that Airstream Nuts and Bolts insisted on installing that.
Thank
we did
you, Ronnie.
The solar. Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Shout out to Ronnie.
Let's see.
Johnny Lightning says, "Hey, Youper, a troll here."
Uh-oh.
Trolls. We haven't had too many trolls tonight.
I think maybe Jim Pratt is taking care of them. He's beating
Dan
Griffith
back. Says, "Watching on YouTube. No like button here." I will say we've been streaming for a while, like
over an hour and a half. So we're probably going to wrap it up soon because you guys are probably getting tired of us at this point.
And a little behind the scenes info: Kristy had a terrible headache a couple hours ago, and so I'm very impressed.
I've got a serious sinus headache right now. Something in the past 24 hours has just caused my sinuses to just get completely congested, and I feel like somebody is pounding on the inside of my forehead right here.
So I'm impressed.
So I'm powering through for you guys. My alarm just went off reminding me to take more medicine.
Oh,
that's what that alarm was.
So I'm impressed that she has rallied.
I have my cold medicine right here. I don't have a cold though. It's just sinus pressure right here.
So Randy asks, I've just started watching the videos on your other YouTube. How long did it take to learn to fly your drone? Well, it's like everything else in life. You're going to get better with it the more you practice. The very first time I flew a drone, I panicked and I somehow sent the drone into return to home mode, and it all worked and I didn't crash, fortunately, but it's going to take a little while. So I recommend the first time you fly a drone, go out to an open field somewhere and go in with very modest expectations of what you're going to do, and just keep it in a very small area
where you can see it. Don't go super high. Kind of learn your controls very well.
But I'll probably
ambitious with it.
I'll probably do a drone live stream on Amazon, because that's again another topic that I probably wouldn't do an hour about drones on YouTube, but I'll do it on Amazon.
Right.
So let's see. Here's a good question from Dan. It says, how do you deal with driving on a very windy day? Earlier this year, we did a video about apps that you could use.
Yes.
And there's an app called Windy.
Yeah.
And so you can actually monitor the wind currents throughout North America and throughout the United States. And that would help alert you if you're going to be dealing with high winds.
I think if you're going to be dealing with winds over 30 miles per hour, don't drive. It's too dangerous.
Yeah. I know in parts of Utah, for example, there can be some really strong crosswinds.
In South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, all those kind of more, flat prairie land states. it can be really scary. Even South Texas, I think, I-10 coming across South Texas, they can get some really strong winds as well. So I think if it's more than 30 miles per hour, you shouldn't drive in it, really, because you'll see on the news where semi trucks get turned over by those winds. So if a semi truck gets turned over, your RV is no match for it. So I think going low and slow is the name of the game when you're dealing with that really windy condition. I think having a anti-sway bar is really important. So
Susan Baker says they have a cat. It's much easier than a dog.
But I still wouldn't leave my cat behind when it's 90 degrees outside and you don't have power and you don't have a way to monitor the temperature inside your RV. Because one power failure, while you're away from the RV, even if you are plugged into full hookup, and in a couple of hours, your pet could have a heat stroke and die. So It's just something to really be worried about or concerned about if you do have a pet that you're traveling with.
Burton asks, do you use sway bars, also known as anti-sway bars?
Mm-hmm.
We have a weight distributing hitch, so we have weight stabilization bars, and we do have an anti-sway bar. And so we have all that stuff. We have sort of an old school hitch set up, but we like it. It's worked well over the years.
Roland Johnson is asking,
Yep.
How do you find your Amazon live streams? So we haven't done one yet. Our first one is going to be this Tuesday. We aren't sure of the time just yet. Probably in the evening.
I think 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
Central,
it's scheduled for 6 p.m.
Central time.
Yeah, we do know the time because it is scheduled. It's locked in at 6 p.m. And
6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And the format is going to be very similar to this. So if you enjoy these live streams, this will be another live stream that you can participate in. And I think the crowds will be much smaller. It's just my gut feeling because I watch some of these live streams on Amazon, and sometimes there can be as few as 10 or 20 people in the live stream. Sometimes there might be a few hundred. But, we're going to talk about everything, too. So you can ask us questions about any of this stuff.
Right.
So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Honestly, these live streams are a lot of fun for us to do. And I think it is a testimony to our community because you guys are so enjoyable to interact with. It's not a stressful experience to do these live chats. It's fun.
Yeah. And like here, we have hundreds of comments coming through. So it's hard for us to go through and grab comments. So we're not ignoring you. It's just sometimes we go with ones that jump out at us the most. How do you find our Amazon live stream? So what you do is you go to amazon.com/shop/longlonghoneymoon. That is our home store front page for Amazon. It's usually linked below every one of our videos on YouTube. Go there. There's going to be a little follow button with a little plus sign next to it. If you click that button, you'll be following our channel and you'll get updated of when we are going to do an Amazon live event. So you can go there to find it. I think also you can, Sean's going to show you. There it is. Amazon.com/shop/longlonghoneymoon. So you can go there, click the follow button. You'll see it. You'll get notified of when we're going to go live. And then also, I think if you go to Amazon.com's homepage, they have a live stream tab at the top of their page that you can click. And if you go to that page while we are live, we should show up there somewhere on that screen. So that could be another way to find it. But really following us would be the best because you'll get notified when we go live. And then you can just click the link to jump in.
I want to say hi to a few people who just joined. Unfortunately, we're about to sign off because Kristy has a head cold of some sort, and we've been talking for a couple hours.
Terrible sinus
But
headache,
hey, Shelly, thanks for joining us, and we hope to catch you next time, or come over and talk to us on Tuesday on Amazon.
Yeah.
Hey, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Thanks for the kind comment.
Oh,
They're
wow.
getting our Airstream in a month.
That's
Congratulations.
exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah. Pretty hard to get an Airstream these days.
Oh,
so.
Larry says, I've already followed on Amazon. If I can do it, anyone can. Larry, you're selling yourself short there, but we appreciate you following us on Amazon very much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We enjoy these live streams so much that when Amazon approached us and asked us to live stream, I thought, well, let's give it a shot. We're going to try it.
We always really enjoy getting to talk to people live. It's fun to be able to answer questions and sort of chat with you guys like you're hanging out here with us in our basement or in our Airstream, depending on where we are when we're doing it.
Thanks, Mach 5.
Oh, thank you so much. And he's a member over on YouTube as well. So we thank you for that support there.
And I hope your wife gets to be feeling better.
Yes, I hope her foot heals quickly. Good. That's the worst.
Yeah, Jim says as always, thanks to Jim Pratt, who is our
he's our moderator.
Our Canadian troll basher.
That's right.
Jim wields the band hammer.
Power from the north.
So, yep. So we appreciate you as always, Jim. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we could talk. Oh, Lane says
we
banana slicer.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about our banana slicer on our Amazon Live.
Yep. You know we'll be talking banana slicers. We cannot have a live chat on Amazon without the legendary Hutzler 571 banana slicer.
If you know about the banana slicer, then consider yourself a true long honeymoon.
And then there's this.
The LOLOHO banana sticker.
This is my proudest creation.
Only of the to the inside of the most inside.
Why didn't I think about
subscribers?
This? Why didn't I do this to start the chat?
I don't know. It looks good.
But yeah, we're gonna have some more of these stickers made because I love this.
They're just fun. They're to make you laugh. I mean, some people have said, "Oh, I can't believe that you got a banana sticker." It's a joke. It's fun. It's for people that are on the inside. It's kind of that inside joke that
No, I'm very serious about bananas and about slicing bananas in a quality fashion. So if you're not in on the whole banana slicer joke, if you read the reviews on Amazon, they're completely hilarious. And there are all sorts of testimonials of people who talk about how that banana slicer has saved their lives.
Yeah.
So see, Mach 5 wants one of those stickers.
Fun. Yeah.
Carol's Amazon website, it's amazon.com/shop/long honeymoon. Yep.
Hold on one second.
Try.
We got to dig through and find it.
Yep. Let's see. There we go.
There it is. Amazon.com/.
And there's a little follow button on there.
Honeymoon. Yeah.
We'll have to do a video about how to find it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, honestly, because see, this is fun. We've been talking now for an hour and 45 minutes, and it really goes by quickly because we enjoy hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Jim wants a banana sticker.
Jim, I think we can hook you up with that. I think we can handle that.
What if we can get Jim to paint? Paint.
Oh, we could paint a banana slicer.
Jim is a very talented painter. Jim, we always enjoy your Facebook posts.
He's been really getting at it during the pandemic too. He's gotten really good. Yeah,
I was talking to a dear friend of mine, and he had a lot of downtime last year because of the pandemic, and he said he spent most of his time drinking beer and playing golf, and he was like, I should have learned a new skill or developed a talent.
Well, maybe he got better at golf.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long you've been painting, Jim, but I think that might be a positive thing. You had some more time at home, and so you used that time constructively to learn a new skill. A lot of people
are chiming in saying they want a banana sticker.
All right, we're going to be getting the banana stickers this week.
Oh, Ken wants to know if Vinny ever sold that Airstream.
He did.
He did sell it.
Not to us.
He did sell the Airstream.
Man, imagine if we had the
33-foot. Whew.
But we get that new F350 and the 33-footer. Be biting off quite a lot.
Then we have to make reservations because we won't fit anywhere.
Some people have asked somebody said the banana slicer for all the relatives. You gotta love the banana slicer.
I mean, did they love you? Did they think you were crazy? Did they get a laugh out of it? I would love to know.
All right, we will be getting banana stickers made en masse this week. We'll get some printed. And Greg asked when we're coming to Florida, possibly in the next week or two. I mean, we may do a shakedown cruise.
For a quick little trip.
So as far as the truck goes, we're going to have some more updates about the truck. We may actually do a little preliminary truck shopping this week. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say we're going to pull a trigger on purchasing a truck just yet, but
we're starting the look process.
We may do a video.
We do a lot of browsing and talking about it for many, many months before we buy something like this. Probably at least a year, I would guesstimate. So don't get too excited that Seymour is going to be put out to pasture soon. This is his farewell tour, I think, this year. We did the bulletproofing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So we've gotten 5 more years out of him than we would have if we hadn't done that. So I definitely think it was worth doing. Subman Cometh.
Yeah, I want to thank the Subman Cometh.
Thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. We appreciate that very much.
Appreciate it very much.
Denise says she wants a banana sticker.
We will get you a banana sticker. I promise. All right.
Somebody was asking how my dad's doing after the tornado. My parents are fine. They didn't have any tornado damage. It was my aunt and uncle. And so they are in a rental house now. They're in the process of picking out plans to build a new house. So they'll be in their rental, I think, for probably at least a year while they rebuild their old house, because it was basically just bulldozed off. So now they've just got a clean lot to start over with. So, but they're doing very well. They're in good spirits. My parents went out to dinner with them Saturday night, and they're doing great. So thank you very much for asking.
From now on, they have to just be thankful for every day, just because
they walked away from a crazy.
It's truly,
I mean,
almost a miracle. I mean, that they survived. People were calling it the miracle of Eagle Point, because their house, it was just completely devastated.
Collapsed. A 3-story brick house collapsed on top of them, and they both walked away with scratches and bumps and bruises. And so it really is a miracle, and we're glad that they're still here. So thanks for asking about them.
Muzzy with Murph says, make sure the new truck has engine and exhaust brakes.
Yep.
We'll get the fully loaded tow package. Johnny asked, would you auction Seymour off for charity? That's an interesting idea.
I mean, I might be concerned about who I would auction it off to. Like, I'd have to say, you have to know what you're getting here. I mean, he's an old guy. He's got a bit of a limp, so. Dawn wants a couple of banana stickers. Says, me and my hubby have learned a lot from you both. Thank you, Dawn. We're going to make the banana sticker thing happen this week. Yeah. All right. I think we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So that's been a pretty long, even by our standards, that's a long live stream. But we've enjoyed it with you guys. Yeah. It's always fun to chat with everybody, to answer as many questions as we can. If we didn't get to you, we apologize. It's hard to see every comment and respond to every comment. We made folding laundry fun. Well, that right there is pretty impressive, because folding the laundry is never fun, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. So actually, I think that's a great point about these live streams, is that you can just be folding the clothes or working in your garage, and you can just put them on, and it's almost like a podcast or radio show. You don't have to be looking at the screen the whole time. We're just kind of all hanging out. Yeah. So it's just a kind of a fun Sunday night, laid back, and we answer as many questions as we can. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim, so much for being our moderator. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate that very much. Not sure. I don't know if those banana emojis really. Candy is talking about slicing bananas. So she loves bananas. I think that's cute. Good thing we didn't use eggplant. All right. I guess we're going to sign off. Again, tune in Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Amazon Live, and we will be live streaming for at least an hour or so there. Yeah. And we'll have, some newbie products to talk about, but we're not going to have to talk about products the entire time. We can answer other questions as well. So if we didn't get you today, come over then and join us there, and we'll see how it goes. We'll be winging it, because it'll be our first time doing an Amazon Live. So we're sort of learning the interface and all that. So you'll just have to bear with us. And hopefully it'll be fun. Again, you can go to amazon.com/shop/longlonghoneymoon and click the follow button. And that is how you can find our live stream, and you'll get a notification when it's going to happen. So, Son of Seymour is the next truck. I'm excited. That's right. Son of Seymour Jr., the Deuce. People are saying thanks for the great chat. I'm glad it turned out well, because things... Like 5 minutes before this chat started, our camera wasn't working, and Kristy had a splitting headache. Yeah. So I don't know how she recovered. Better, we got the camera working, and so my next dose of medication is on standby right here. So Shelly says 6 p.m. Which time zone? That is Central, so time. 7 p.m. Eastern. And I think if you go to the Amazon Live chat page, there will be some sort of notice posted maybe Monday or Tuesday before the chat. You know what I'm saying? So I think there will be something up there. And those Amazon chats will be archived on our influencer page, on the Amazon.com on our homepage, which shopping page. The one that's Amazon.com/shop/longlong. So I think that's pretty cool. Like, we can, talk in long form about certain topics, and then they will all be archived in that place. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Yep.
All right. Well, we thank you guys so much. And I'm just showing some comments here.
Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube
JL.
channel because that will notify you when we go live. So if you missed it, make sure you've clicked that subscribe button with the bell notification button also clicked. That's how you get a notification that we're going live or that a new video has been posted. And then you can also follow us on Instagram. We're at Long Long Honeymoon there. And I announced our live chat tonight there yesterday. And then also our Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Long Long Honeymoon. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to our newsletter, I send that out usually Monday evenings, sometime Tuesday mornings if we've had a long Monday and I can't get it out in time. But usually I send it out around dinner time on Monday nights. And it's sort of a recap from the previous weekend's video. And then I sort of tell you about some things coming up the next week. And there's some behind the scenes stuff that I post there that doesn't really get posted anywhere else. So it's a good way to keep in touch with us. And it's a way for us to have contact with you that doesn't rely on another platform. It's a way for us to directly contact you. So that's a good thing for us and for you. So check us there. You can go to our website to subscribe to the newsletter, which is longlonghoneymoon.com. And there's a button there to subscribe to the newsletter, or you can click the link under most of our YouTube videos. You'll find it there.
Hey, Cassidy, good to see you as always.
Hi.
There's Kelly. All right, guys.
Louie. Thanks
We're
for
gonna sign
jumping in,
off.
you guys. We appreciate all
it so
the
much.
questions.
It's been fun. We'll do more of these. And obviously we'll be doing them Tuesday night.
Oh,
too.
Mach 5, you've never received the newsletter yet. Are you subscribed?
Yeah, you do have to sign up.
You do have to sign up specifically to the newsletter. So go to longlonghoneymoon.com and there's a button on there to subscribe to the newsletter and make sure you're subscribed there. And check your spam folder in your email too and make sure that we're not caught in your spam filter.
Michael asked how my health is doing. The brain tumor thing seems to be doing pretty well. My knees are terrible. And I'm getting a beer belly again. So I'm getting fat again. So I got to.
Well.
But other than that.
I'm fat again too. But, it's just the pandemic. I got the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Just not in my lungs. It's in my gut.
I got COVID 19 pounds right around my midsection. So but I thank you for asking.
Get that under control this year too.
Things are going. All right, guys. We love you.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. We enjoyed it. And we hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. What do we say? Until next time.
LOLOHO.